Dennis Cox and Chris Lea about to dig in the crates, so turn it up, cause it's time for the culture state. Yeah, we do it for the culture, home of the greats, in the Carolina good from the culture state. Chris Lea and Dennis Cox about to dig in the crates, so turn it up, cause it's time for the culture state. Yeah.
All right, another episode of the Culture State Podcast. I am Chris Lea. That's my man, Dennis Jamel Cox. It's Thanksgiving week, so we hope that everybody is having fun with their family and at least getting some good food to eat. Just all the normal stuff. There's also going to be a lot of great sports for you to watch. I feel like this week is extra packed because of the PK Invitational Tournament for college basketball over in Oregon, and then also the World Cup is happening. So there's all kinds of things that you can choose from, along with what was already going to go on during Thanksgiving week.
State Carolina play as well this week in football.
Got
a couple of Canes games taking
place.
place.
Stuff. Yep.
Yeah, there's tons. There is plenty. Actually, there's probably way more out there than you need, but plenty of options for people. Just like a smorgasbord of sides on a Thanksgiving meal, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, people are going to eat a lot more than what they need this week, and we're going to have a lot more sports than what we need this week.
Yep.
But I guess, if Thanksgiving is going to turn into a feast of sports, I guess it makes sense, right? Like, people are going to be home a little bit more. Live sports is like pretty much the only thing people watch live anymore on television.
Yeah, just about.
Makes sense.
Just about, other than wrestling. But we could throw that in the sports category.
Yeah, well, I'll throw it in sports.
Yeah, exactly.
It is sports entertainment.
It's pro wrestling, Chris. Get it right. It's not entertainment.
Sports.
It's pro wrestling.
Entertainment. No, I'm just playing. It's both. Two things can be true at the same time.
That's true.
So we have Kaleigh Kurtz on there from the NC Courage. Speaking of the World Cup, women's soccer definitely is taking off. We're not talking about the Women's World Cup, it's the Men's World Cup. But Kaleigh Kurtz from the NC Courage is going to be on with us today. She was on Culture State Saturday with us this past weekend, and really good, insightful interview. There was one problem, though.
What's that?
I messed up.
Oh, you messed up.
I messed up on my rap.
No.
I messed up on my rap. It's interesting because, like, we had actual rappers in there before.
Yeah,
and I would do my bars, and I would be fine with it. A professional athlete who doesn't rap at all, I messed up. But I think I know why, Dennis.
Why?
I had on a button-up.
Nah, see, okay, that makes sense.
I had on a button-up and dress pants. Like, I just didn't feel like in a flowy mood, that day.
Okay.
So, after you hear from Kaleigh Kurtz, and I'm sure, are you going to put that in the actual?
Oh, it's going to be in there.
It's going to be in there. So you guys will hear the mess up.
Oh, it's going to be
and then I will, at the end, try to get my face back by doing that same verse, but a cappella, though, just to make sure that you guys can hear it all the way and how it was supposed to be delivered.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk to Kaleigh, or we did talk to Kaleigh Kurtz. You can hear that here in a sec. And the conversation that we had with her regarding former head coach Paul Riley was really eye-opening.
Yes.
And this has been a big point for not only NWSL, but really, honestly, for women in sports and women in the profession, women just professionally across a lot of industries, regards to what the women at the NWSL or people who played in that league or played under Paul Riley, what they went through and what Kaleigh had gone through. So it's a very eye-opening. I was very appreciative that she opened up about this. So let's not wait any further, Chris. Kaleigh Kurtz, North Carolina Courage defender. I do have one very important question.
Go ahead.
Okay. Chris might know where I'm going with this.
Yes, I do.
Okay. So you originally started at Richmond, your college career, then you transferred back home to South Carolina and played at the University of South Carolina. Why is the state of North Carolina so much better than the state of South Carolina? And what makes it so much greater as a state than South Carolina?
Okay.
Like, why is being here so much better?
He's coming in hot early.
Yeah. Well, I'm still with the North Carolina Courage, so I don't want to get in trouble here, but I still like South Carolina.
Okay. All right,
North Carolina's pretty nice.
Oh,
but
just pretty nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think everything I can find in North Carolina is also in South Carolina. So
I don't think so.
I do.
The barbecue here is so much better.
I don't really eat barbecue.
Okay, well, there's that.
So there's that.
There's that. But that's okay. That's fine. That's all right. Chris, I have a running thing on this show where I rail on the state of South Carolina. Because we're all about the state of North Carolina, so I like to poke fun at South Carolina.
Oh, he goes in on South Carolina. That could be a whole 30-minute discussion by itself.
That really could be a whole thing.
No.
But it's okay. I did just want to break the ice there with that. But I actually am curious. You did start at Richmond, but you did transfer to South Carolina. What was the reason why that you decided to, after one season, move back home, leave Richmond, and go back to South Carolina?
SEC.
The SEC was a big part of it.
Okay, there it is.
I've been known,
A10, SEC.
yeah, I've been known as a bit of a brute, and I was always so athletic as a soccer player.
Okay.
And my technical ability didn't catch up until I pretty much got to the Courage, and coaches really took me under their wing and showed me the ropes of how to be more of a technical player. So
Okay.
the SEC and I fit really well. But during the recruiting process, I broke my femur.
Oh, wow.
So I went to the University of Richmond because no one knew if I was going to truly come back from that injury.
Yeah.
And so I, in the recruiting process, had all these coaches looking at me, and then everyone just kind of dropped me. So
Wow.
University of Richmond was willing to offer me a full ride and take a shot on me, and I was like, okay, I like it.
Okay.
So
There it
went
is.
there, but the competition just wasn't where I wanted it to be.
Okay.
During the recruiting process after the whole injury was thinking, oh, like how is my next 40 years going to be, not just my next 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I got there, I was like, screw this. I need 3 really good competitive years of soccer because I wasn't sure if I was going to go pro.
Yeah. Definitely unsure about that.
Kaleigh Kurtz joining us, defender for the North Carolina Courage. I'm Chris Lea. That's Dennis Cox over there. Want to ask you about this past season for the Courage. It's, of course, coming off of, a crazy offseason. A lot of changes with the NWSL, a lot of changes with the Courage itself. Also, a lot of new faces, a lot of turnover on the roster. And then there's a new head coach in Sean Nahas. And, it felt like, you got to start off strong with winning the Challenge Cup. Then it felt like, there was a little bit of a rut there, but there was a strong push towards the end. I believe you guys finished one spot out of the playoffs.
Unfortunately.
Talk about that process of having a completely new team and trying to build new chemistry with new people and having a new coach with maybe potentially new systems and things like that. How tough is that for a team to try to come together, and how close were you guys to fully putting that together to potentially make that playoff push?
Yeah, I think Sean did a really good job with recruiting, but there was a lot of new faces and a lot of our experienced leadership left. So it was difficult to continue the culture that Paul Riley had created. And it was an extremely focused, dedicated, we're going to put in the work. We were always known as the underdog, even if we're at the top of the league, undefeated for seasons. But when you have 13 plus new faces coming into preseason, we just didn't identify that culture fast enough. We were able to have that kind of brute force. We're just going to do the dirty work in the Challenge Cup. And then as we started to try and implement more structure and figure out our true identity as a team, we kind of lost our way. And then we slowly started getting it back by switching to the formation that suited the players the best, not just the formation that we had been doing for the previous years.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you did mention Paul Riley. When all that stuff happened, you're on the team. What did you feel like during those times? What were the emotions that you went through during that time?
I had an extremely complicated relationship with Paul.
Okay.
So I had him for the first year in 2018. He was phenomenal, best coach I'd ever had. And then the following year, things just kind of took a very strange turn in the relationship. And he started commenting on my weight a lot and telling me I needed to lose 14 pounds in 10 days healthily. And I don't know how you do that.
You don't.
You don't. So then I started developing a very strange relationship with food, which I think is something that's difficult for almost any female in today's society, especially. And then to put it on top of being an athlete and putting where we put so much of our identity in our sport and then associating my identity with my weight, it was such a tricky balance. So that was a bit of a problem. So when the article came out and he got fired immediately, it was a bit of a relief.
Okay.
To be honest, there was just so much pain that had been associated with that, and I was still dealing with trying to have a better relationship with food at the time. So when he left, there was a huge weight off my chest.
I know a lot of people talk, and you mentioned your relationship with him when it came down to weight and food, but the other things that kind of came out, the main reason why he was let go, was that something that hey, there was whispers about, hey, we've heard like from people at this other team before that this happened. Were you guys shocked by that portion of it, or was it one of those things where like we've kind of heard something about this?
I had heard nothing in the first year or two. As more new faces came in that knew Paul from the Philadelphia team in the WPS, and then played with him in Portland, I had heard whispers of it as more of those players came in. Before that, hadn't heard a thing. Had only just thought of him as the greatest coach in the world in 2015. Kept me motivated when I was behind two world-class center backs, and at the time I had zero thought that I was ever going to play in a game, and then he just kept me going the whole season, and I played 6 games.
What is that emotional swing like for you, though, to go from thinking this is the best coach you ever played for to I'm so relieved he got fired? Like that's a big emotional swing, I think.
It was. I ended up texting the assistant coach now, Nathan Thackeray, and I just kind of told him when we were talking about, do we take that week off the week after the article came out, and that was a huge thing. It wasn't quite a strike, but it was like we need time off. This was huge. This is a bomb that just dropped. So I actually advocated that I wanted to play in that game, whereas a lot of people were like, I need the time off, but I wanted to play because I wanted to prove to everyone that it wasn't like Paul that made me the player that I was, that he may have helped me along the way to become that player, but I had to fight through a lot of adversity and stuff that he threw at me. So I wanted to show everyone that it wasn't just like him that created the player that I am now. So I wanted to play, but it was a very strange swing to go from feeling like he was the greatest person and he always had my back to, wow, like this is a relief now. He's gone.
Kaleigh Kurtz from the North Carolina Courage joining us here in studio. Now, something that you all as players have done recently is there's a players union that has been formed for you all. Now, a lot of people think pro sports, like, well, players association, we hear about that stuff all the time, but for a young league, that's something that really wasn't there for you all. How important is the addition of the players union been for you all, not only just for you all in terms of negotiating salaries and things like that, but also just the benefits that you all have as athletes? Because a lot of people may not realize y'all ain't signing 6-7-figure contracts that we hear about all the time with a lot of other professional sports. No, you guys have to really fight for, in all honestly, a living wage.
Yeah.
You really dig. As pro athletes, y'all really had to fight for a living wage. I'm not talking like, oh, you guys are making $500,000 a year. Like, no, it's a fight to just get 40.
Yeah.
Like, a fight.
Yeah, exactly.
40.
A fight to just get $40,000 a year. It's like, a lot of people always talk about teachers are underpaid. Y'all get paid less than teachers do.
For sure.
And you're supposed to put your bodies on the line out there like that. So how important was the formation of a players union for not only just for you personally, but just for the health of the league?
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. I think we lose a lot of really talented players in the college draft just because why would you want to sign up for $13,000 a year? And that's what I made my first year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That puts it in perspective.
Yeah, 13
sure.
G's. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think you miss out on a lot of people because when it's $13,000 a year, why would I want to sign up for that if I just went through 4 years of college or 3 years of college to get my degree and I could go make 80 right out of the bat?
Yeah.
So besides it just being this dream I've always had, I think most people are going to take the 80. Instead of putting our body on the line and being told that we can't do so many things because it's in our contract that we can't, rollerblade or skateboard or go skydiving, all these things that are fun and we should do while we're young. And we're just not getting paid enough for that. But with the union coming in, I'm actually the vice president now. That's fairly new.
Yeah, congrats.
Thank you. Yeah. But it was really cool because I got to see the entire process of building our first ever CBA and getting that signed. And we actually got it signed like the day before preseason started this last year. And it was just really huge to have a standard set across the board for all teams because in the years that I've been in the league before the CBA, you heard about Sky Blue having horrible like training environment and no showers, no locker rooms. They had to drive an hour to training every single day. So it was nice to have a standard set across the board.
So I was like to ask, what are some of the benefits that the Players Association, the Players Union that you all negotiated? What are some of those things that you all worked out with the league?
Not just increase in salaries, but facility improvements. I think housing, some other things as well, health benefits. What are some of those things that you all have now that you didn't have 2 years ago?
Yeah, housing is huge. We have housing year round. Before the second, we lost and we either made playoffs and lost in the playoffs, or won and we won the championship, or you didn't even make the playoff push. You had to pack up immediately and go home.
Really?
Or spend the rest of your $13,000, $20,000, whatever you were making on housing. So you had to go live back with your parents as sometimes 30-year-olds, and it's kind of weird to do that.
Wow.
Yeah, and I love my parents. I'm so thankful for them, but
no.
Yeah.
But here's the thing,
weird.
as a professional, you shouldn't be forced in a situation where you have to go back to live with your parents during an off season.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good. So they give you all housing year round.
Yes, that's been a huge addition. Free agency for players who were coming out of contract and they have had 6 years of experience in the league. Now we'll have free agency.
Okay.
And this is the first time this has ever been seen. So we're about to see a lot of movement and change within the league for the first time. And I think that's so huge because when I was dealing with all this stuff with Paul, I had asked for a trade.
Okay.
And they told me, no, you're stuck here. Paul wants you here. And I just felt trapped.
Mm-hmm.
And so it feels really good to have a little bit of decision making. And I get to choose my future. If I don't want to be at the North Carolina Courage anymore after a certain amount of time, I can make that choice and start fighting and leveraging with different clubs about a higher salary.
We would love to keep you, though.
Well, obviously, yes.
I mean, we would love to have you here because
sure.
you've been a great addition to the team.
Thank
Kaleigh
you.
Kurtz joining us right here on Culture State. I'm Chris Lea. That's Dennis Cox. I've got to ask you, go back to the 13,000 thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you gave us a little bit of insight on how things have gotten better, but when you're in that position, my first full-time job out of college, I made $20,000 a year. Okay. So I was
24.
doing just a little bit better than you. Dennis was doing better than both of us.
I know. I was rolling.
Almost
Rolling
double what you made. But how do you make that work, though, as a professional athlete? I mean, you still have things to buy. I assume that at a certain point you're buying some of your own equipment, your own shoes. You probably get some of that given to you, I'm sure. But as far as you want to travel at a certain point, you would like to just go to the store, have something nice to eat, things like that. Like, how do you make that work as a professional athlete?
Yeah, for me, that first year, eating out was out of the question just because I'm also a pretty frugal person. I've never been known for my style or, doing...
You're not making it rain at the club.
No. I am not. So I've always been very frugal, and I've always had a budget. And so the second that I got into the league and I started making money, I talked to my dad and I was like, I want to be able to start saving, but I also, need to live. So... Yeah. Let's create a budget together, figure it out. How much am I going to spend on food? Because at the time and still, that's something that we need because it fuels us. And I just had my sights set on not spending money on bad things that weren't going to help me. So it helped kind of get junk food out of the thought like I had in college. And, chips were no longer in there just because you can't always afford it when you're making $13,000 and you're still trying to save some money and, put it aside in a betterment account or something.
Well, I think also as well as that you all have to train in the off season and things like that too, whether you're paying for maybe working with a personal trainer or something along those lines. Otherwise, you're just kind of stuck on your own.
Okay, let's do it. I'm about to rap for you, Kaleigh.
Yeah, you know this is coming.
I did not know this.
Listen, yo, hopefully you like this because I gave you a little shout out here. Hey, look, hey.
Oh, you got stage fright, Chris.
No, I think what happened is
it happens sometimes.
I think what happened is I got nervous because we have a professional athlete here. So let's start this all over again.
Yeah, start it all over again. Sometimes you got to re-kick this thing off.
Yeah. There we go. I'm ready now. Okay. Let's go. Thank you, Graham. I appreciate that. Listen. Yo. Hey. New phone, who is this? I don't see no text. Keep it real like Dave Doran. I don't see no threats. Say my name in the tweet. Better give me respect. cause your boy is verified. I didn't pay for the check. Drake May in the pocket, I'm the one you can trust. Thunder snow blowing bills like Elon Musk. We bring the culture and the vibes, take over the whole state. You whack like Syracuse, get brushed like Colgate. Dennis Cox and Chris Lea, NC, and we serving. Haters get canceled like Kyrie Irving. So brings I messed up the line, and it was her line. It was her line.
I'm making you nervous.
Here was the last line. So pour some beer up in my World Cup, kicking it with Kaleigh Kurtz, Carolina, get your courage up. That's what I was supposed to say.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm sorry.
But okay,
I messed it
here's
up.
the thing, Kaleigh.
I
He's
messed it
done this multiple weeks with people who actually made a career as rappers, sitting where you are sitting. And he's nailed it.
And it's the athlete that gets me.
And it's the athlete that gets
like
it.
actual rappers, it's like, oh, I'll just do this. Like, yeah, that's whatever.
We had Sean
You're
Book.
afraid of my 5-figure salary, huh?
No, like
So impressive.
what I'm really thinking about is like going back to the locker room, and this guy thinks he can rap. I'm not giving him the interview next time.
I know, right? It's okay. It's all right. It happens, Chris.
It happens.
Sometimes
Sometimes
you
you
hit
hit a little bit of stage fright.
Sometimes you hit the post.
Sometimes we have bad games.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have bad
Sometimes you hit the post. It's all right. It happens.
Sometimes you have an own goal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Those are rough. Yeah. Kaleigh Kurtz, North Carolina Kurtz, joining us here on Culture State Saturdays. That's Chris, the attempted rapper, and there's me.
It was the worst time ever.
It's fine.
It was worse
Chris.
than the first week where the playback was slow and it sounded like I was off beat.
Well, it's okay. It's all right. You'll bounce back next week. I promise.
Yes, we will.
So one thing that I feel the NWSL does not do a very good job of is that they do not do a good job of promoting you all as athletes and you all as players in terms of where do we actually watch the games? Mm-hmm. Because they'll post highlights on Instagram, they'll post highlights on Twitter, things along those lines, and there's zero, hey, catch this action on Paramount Plus or on Twitch, wherever it is you got. Like, the fact that you use Twitch as a platform, I think, is really cool. It's different. Not other leagues are using it. But people don't know where to go. There's no, like, hey, 7-day free trial, Paramount Plus. Watch the NWSL. Watch all this great action. All this stuff to build up to the week. People just don't know. I talked to my brother-in-law. Just saw him yesterday, and he's like, I was like, I have Paramount Plus. I didn't realize that I could watch games there. People just didn't even know. Yeah. I don't think they do a good job of promoting you all, and I know TV rights deals are coming up here soon for the NWSL. That's where you make your money as a league. That helps you all as athletes when you guys are revenue sharing. It boosts your salaries. All that stuff comes from television revenue.
Yeah.
A lot of it does. Where do you feel the NWSL can help boost you all up in terms of getting more eyeballs on the product?
I mean, that's a question.
It's a very wide open question. But
how much time you got?
Yeah, exactly. Well, we got about 4 minutes and 50. We have 4 minutes left.
Okay.
But yes.
I think that one's difficult because at the end of the day, you have to have people who want to see us play, and
I think there are.
Yeah, I think
because women's soccer
started to show that.
Women's soccer has been proven to drive to move the needle in terms of soccer in this country. I believe. In terms of domestic soccer, I know the Premier League has this big following,
for sure.
But in terms of soccer here domestically, women's soccer moves the needle.
For sure.
I tune in, Olympics, World Cup, women, I'm locked in.
Yeah.
All the time.
That's the U.S. women's national team.
Yes, but here's the thing. I still want to see you all play professionally throughout the whole year, though.
But I think going along with his point, though, like, just for instance, I went to a game earlier this year, and, of course, you have Megan Rapinoe there. But, like, there's not – you have those superstars that, when they're not playing for the U.S. women's national team, they're coming to your community if you have NWSL in your community. And that's not even put out there as much. To me, it's not marketed. And, I mean, you've played with those players. So it's just – I guess we should actually let her answer.
Sorry. Yeah, go on. I asked the question.
We're mansplaining right now.
I know.
You're good. I think it's definitely difficult. I think, especially in the Raleigh area, we need to utilize maybe the Canes more. And, I'm giving that a little shout out because I love the Canes. Love you.
8 o'clock tonight. They play. Go on.
But I think if you can establish that kind of connection with local communities, restaurants, anything, get the word out that we exist in general, that'll definitely start bringing a crowd, because I think a lot of people, from my experience of talking to them about who I am and what I do for a living, they're like, oh, I had no idea there was a team in Raleigh. Yeah. And so one, I think having your local markets just kind of get the word out more, because unless you're looking for the NWSL and you know about it, like you're not just gonna like really find it. I feel like.
Yeah, that's my point. Is that unless you know it's there.
Yeah. And Paramount Plus only, I mean, if you watch soccer and you watch the Champions League, maybe you'll realize that NWSL is also where the Champions League is played.
Yeah.
But otherwise, because it's not on another platform like ESPN or, ABC, some of these places where you see football, you're not going to see women's soccer.
It's all about reaching the casual viewer. Because that's the thing, as a casual viewer, where can I watch this? How can you make it super accessible? Because, again, the hardcore fans, they know where to find it. They're going to go seek it out. But as a casual fan, it's a lot harder.
But I was also going to say, like, part of the marketing for, football or basketball players a lot of times are player stories. Like, what's relatable, what's something that we can get into. And to me, I feel like even that a lot of times is kind of lacking when it comes just down to the PR. Because there's a lot of amazing stories that are out there that can be told at a higher level just from a storyteller perspective. It's just, to me, that's lacking. All right, we want to thank Kaleigh Kurtz for coming in and joining us. She was absolutely nice. I wish I had a chance to sit and talk with her more, but I had to leave, go do my first play-by-play action.
Yeah.
Immediately after the show was over. But, how was she afterwards and when you got a chance to talk to her a little bit more?
Honestly, we stayed in the studio and talked for about 45 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, we talked for a good long while. So definitely someone we want to have back on the show once again. She was fantastic. She was great. I was very thankful that she opened up to us and was willing to do that and to talk with us and give us her time. But yeah, she was fantastic. Definitely will have her back on again in the near future.
So by the time I got to Bowie's Creek, that's when you guys start to rap everything.
Probably. Yeah, probably. We were actually mostly kind of breaking down your rap. We went back and rewatched the tape on that. We went back, check the tape, see where you went wrong.
You guys went Matt Rule on this. Okay.
We did.
That's what's up. All right, well, speaking of that.
Yeah.
We're going to do it a cappella because, I don't think that if we were to play the music here, it might not, come in correctly. So I don't want to sound like I'm off beat. I didn't practice this morning, Dennis.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I'm just going to see if I could just kind of do it.
Okay. All right.
So there's a chance I could mess up again because allergies and everything else. But here it goes. Here's what I was trying to say. New phone, who was this? I don't see no text. Keep it real like Dave Dorn. I don't see no threats. Say my name in the tweet. Better give me respect because your boy is verified. I ain't pay for the check. Drake May in the pocket. I'm the one you can trust. Thunder snow blowing bills like Elon Musk. We bring the culture and the vibes. Take over the whole state. You whack like Syracuse. Get brushed like Colgate. Dennis Cox and Chris Lea, NC, and we serving. Haters get canceled like Kyrie Irving. Support some beer up in my World Cup. Kicking it with Kaleigh Kurtz in Carolina. Get your courage up. Woo! I did it. See, it was a dress shirt.
Yeah.
It's a dress shirt that messed me up.
For those who don't know, like Chris said, he actually did his first play-by-play. He did Campbell women's basketball on Saturday after our show. So you were dressed basically like you'd be on TV for play-by-play. You had the button up, you had the slacks on, they had the whole bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like much of a rapper in dress shoes and dress shirt and slacks.
Maybe you can make that a thing.
Rapping in that attire?
Yeah.
Well, clearly I failed at it.
Practice, Chris.
Clearly I failed at it.
Practice.
Anyway, there we go. I didn't even practice that this morning, so I just did it right there. So hopefully everybody got a chance to hear what was supposed to happen. Yeah, I think that was one of my better verses.
It was. It definitely was. Okay, third time was a charm. Third time was a charm.
The third time was a charm.
Third time was a charm for you. So congratulations, Chris.
Dennis, let's talk about your Thanksgiving plate. What is the thing you're looking forward to the most for Thanksgiving? The piece of the side, the food that you.
The thing I'm looking forward to most is actually having a day off, and that would be just Thursday. That's the thing I'm looking forward to most.
That's true. Yeah. Same. Hey, this is what happens when you work in sports media on the the biggest sports week ever.
Yep. That's what it is.
You gotta stay at home. All right. Well, we thank you guys. We're thankful for you because for the people who are watching, this little idea that we had turned into a radio show, turned into a television show, and we want to thank you for the support. We are thankful for you on this Thanksgiving week, and we're thankful every other week of the year. So make sure you go. Subscribe, like, do all the fun stuff. Follow. As long as we still have Twitter, you can still follow us.
Yeah,
we'll be there. If Twitter's gonna be there, we'll be there.
Yeah, well, exactly. We're gonna be there. But like Chris said, elbow drop that like and subscribe button. You want to support us? That's the best way to do
Cox
it.
and Chris Lea about to dig in the crates, so turn it up, cause it's time for the culture state. Yeah, we do it for the culture, home of the greats, in the Carolina hood from the culture state. Chris Lea Dennis Cox about to dig in the crates, so turn it up, cause it's time for the culture state. Yeah.